everybody, today I'm going to talk about my history with piracy. Now if you're new here, consider submarine the bell. So I've been thinking about YouTube ideas for the past few days, and I brought up the idea that I have pirated a little bit in the past, and I kind of want to talk about times where it's backfired on me, and times I've done it in general, and I kind of want to talk about it. So yeah, let's get started. So the first time I was introduced to the idea of piracy is the ad that would come on all the time when we would pop in a DVD. It's the Would You Steal a Car ad. A lot of Gen Z will understand this because, it kind of introduced me to the idea of online pirating, that people would try to download movies and TV shows and stuff like that. Around the time that Pirate Bay came out and stuff like that, I was kind of scared of that ad because it kind of took me out of the idea of maybe wanting to do that for a while. I actually heard recently that the music was pirated to make that ad, which I don't know if that's exactly true, but I need to look that up post-editing because that would be crazy if that's the case. That would be pretty ironic. That was kind of the first version of the idea of pirating things, and I was pretty young around that time, so that was pretty interesting. So I'm going to be breaking down every type of media and my history with the times I pirated and stuff like that. So the first one I want to talk about is music. Now, music I didn't pirate as much as other types of media when I was younger. The one I still kind of do is MP3 downloading. Now, what I use sometimes, and actually ever since I started the channel, is that when I'm using background music, which is like Kevin MacLeod music that is copyright free, so it's technically not pirating, but I would download it to an MP3 with these MP3 converters online, but I've had a few mishaps with these converters because a lot of ads would often show up. And that's kind of the case with pirating in general. Adware was insane at the time, and it still is. Luckily, I have found an MP3 converter that doesn't have ads, and it's way better. I sometimes download MP3s, for my iPod that I have in my car, because I like downloading YouTube remixes that aren't available on streaming services. And there was also a period of time with my car is that my cord would not hook up to my old iPhone and my charging port was bad. So I would just use my iPod with the aux. And I downloaded it, I think around 100 songs on the iPod. And I still kind of do that occasionally. But I don't really download, actual songs. I download, YouTube remixes of rap songs and stuff like that. That's kind of my little bit of background on iPods and, the way I download music on there. But also, there was a website that I used way back in 2013, 2014, and it would be around the time of middle school, and I think it was open as late as 2016, and that's the website Grooveshark. Now, for people who don't know what Grooveshark was, it's basically a version of SoundCloud where it was pirating. It was just every song that you wanted was on there. And I'm actually surprised the service lasted that long because I would listen to music in the background when I'm doing work all the time. And even back then I was am I technically breaking the law? Because there was a lot of copyrighted music that you could just stream. And I do kind of miss it a little bit. I kind of have a lot of nostalgia for it, to be honest. But that's kind of the streaming service that I would use to do music and stuff like that. Because YouTube was mostly blocked on Chromebooks. So I couldn't really stream music that much. But Grooveshark kind of came to my aid because I don't think it really had that much adware that I remember. But yeah, Grooveshark was interesting. And a couple things I still do with MP3s, and also music in general, is I sometimes like burning tracks to CDs. Now, you're probably saying, Zion, what year is it? It's not the 2000s. But I kind of like having physical copies of music. It's really only times I know I can't access an album or songs in general that I just download them onto a CD. But what's kind of annoying is that a lot of the CD players that I've used in my life, they don't accept pirated CDs, mostly. Now, I think I do have a portable one somewhere where it does, and I think I actually got that portable one from Big Lots when they were closing. I haven't used it very much, but yeah, so that's kind of interesting. And another type of media that I used to pirate, not anymore basically, was movies. Basically, I really didn't have money to buy movies and DVDs and stuff like that because I didn't really have a major bank account back in like 2016 or so. So I would try to pirate. And there were a couple of times that I did pirate movies. Actually, there was this one one time that I pirated the entire Halloween series. Actually, not the entire Halloween series, but it was like the Halloween movies from 1 to 6. But like, I would use this trick where it was on Google, where it was, you would type in index of, and then it would be the title of the movie, or the title of the media. I don't think this works anymore, but back in like 2018 or so, that's kind of where it worked. And I would just download all of them, and I didn't watch any of them. Because I actually only saw the Halloween recently last year. But yeah, that's kind of the main movie series that I pirated. But there was also a time, this was only a few months ago, that I technically did pirate things. For people who don't know, the original theatrical version of the original Star Wars movie is so hard to find, or even the specialized editions of the original trilogy. Like, I mentioned it in a few videos where it was like, the special editions suck, mostly, and people want to find the original versions, and also they want Disney to release the original versions. There is actually this project that is being launched, or has been around for a few years, called 4K77. So basically, these people have restored the original theatrical cut of Star Wars to play on 1080p and 4K. I actually managed to find the original cut of Star Wars because it's kind of difficult to find it in general. Like, they kind of make it hard because like they don't want too many people to pirate it. But yeah, I did it and it looks great. And but that's kind of like the most recent time that I pirated, to be honest. I mean, there is a whole community about restoring the specialized editions, but that's kind of like what I kind of like pirate for, is if it's a media that is just so rare and you can barely find anywhere. But yeah, so, and I also would burn DVDs too. Actually, to be honest, I think I did burn DVDs, or still do, more than CDs. Because like, I remember there would be a time I think I tried to burn the Halloween movies on DVD. I couldn't figure out how to do it. I am considering like, maybe burning the original version of Star Wars onto a DVD. Actually, no, I don't think I could do a DVD because it's 1080p. Burning DVDs is also fun too, because like most of the DVD players I've owned actually were not able to detect pirated discs. Burning DVDs was kind of fun, and I still like doing it sometimes, but... And another thing that I pirated was software. At the beginning of the time when I returned to my YouTube channel, I was trying to find a editing software that was not iMovie, because I was not going to use iMovie originally, because I thought it would be too basic, and I still use it to this day. But I tried to find Adobe software, but I didn't realize at the time that Adobe software, or any Adobe product, is a subscription. So I did manage to find a copy of Adobe Premiere. I needed a subscription, so basically there was no point for me to pirate it. It's just because it just wanted me to pay for the subscription anyway. So yeah, that was kind of pointless, but so basically I just stuck with iMovie, and I still use it currently. Like, it's so OP for the fact that it's free. Yeah, so I did try to pirate Adobe products, and I do remember also that I like downloading Windows ISOs for operating systems. Now, a lot of these can be found on the Internet Archive. I think a lot of people know that. But like, I remember I had this old computer that actually was my first computer ever. It was a compact plastic black laptop, and that's where a lot of the times I did pirate at the beginning. But it would run Windows 7, and for some reason the Windows operating system that it had was just completely erased. So I went down and I hunted down a version of Windows 7. Like, it was like when I launched it from the USB drive, it was like saying this is not a genuine copy. But it was weird because like normally like with like the Windows operating system, almost any of them ever, is that it would kind of like show the wallpaper of the Windows logo. It would just have this black screen as the wallpaper. And actually, the reason why I recognized that later on is one of the places that I used to work at, the thrift store that I used to work at actually, had a pirated version of Windows 7. Like, with like a lot of like printing like the tags and stuff like that, they just used a pirated version, which I found kind of funny. But yeah, that was interesting because like, I mean, I have used Windows ISOs for like virtual machines. Like, I think I downloaded Windows XP at one point. I do still have a computer of Windows XP, but it sucks. It's just like so old. For the future, for like old Windows operating systems, I probably will try to get it on the original hardware. But yeah, so that's kind of interesting because software was probably the one that I really wanted the most because like, especially for editing YouTube videos and stuff like that. So, and the last kind of media and probably the most famous one for me is video games. Video games were kind of like one of the main things, actually the main media that I would pirate. Like, especially ROMs. Like, ROMs is also kind of a legal gray area. I mean, Nintendo, and still is, trying to shut down literally every ROM site ever. Like, I remember I used to use this website called MU Paradise, and almost all the Nintendo ROMs are gone now. Like, and MU Paradise is pretty much pointless anyway now, like a lot of the good games are gone. But that's the main one I would use. Nintendo is just also a company that doesn't like fun. They just like delete everything that people want. They delete like fan games and stuff, and I hate the company side of Nintendo. But yeah, so I would pirate stuff all the time for like emulators and stuff like that. One of the ROMs I downloaded was I was trying to get a version of Pepsi Man. Now, for people who don't know, Pepsi Man on the PlayStation 1 is super expensive and pretty rare. It goes for like $100 on eBay. So I was trying to burn I think it was a ISO file for the game on a blank CD. But the thing is, my PlayStation 1 is not modded. So what I would do, or what I tried to do, I would do the disc swap trick where like I would put in a real PS1 game and then swap it. I think everyone knows that trick. But it didn't work. I just couldn't get it to work. Actually, I don't know if I can play it on the PS1 because I think it is a Japanese copy or Japanese game in general. So I think the only way I'm gonna have to play it, I'm gonna be able to, is pirating it. But I just haven't really found a copy or a way to burn PS1 games that works yet. And another game that I really pirated was Five Nights at Freddy's. So I was introduced to it from a friend on the bus, and I instantly was hooked. But the thing is that like my mom didn't want me to play until I was 12, so I was a little bit rebellious with this. But I would play like online versions. I remember I used to play it on Scratch, where it was this website where like people would make like Flash kind of games. Or not maybe games, but like just these kind of coding things. I would be able to play like scaled down and dumbed down version of the game. I just really wanted to play Five Nights at Freddy's so badly because I was basically not allowed to for a while. I did manage to find a copy of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, but it was really slow, and like I just realized I don't know if this is good for my computer. Like, I think that was one of the first times when I was playing it on my old computer I recognized that it was just so old. Like, the computer and it was barely able to run it. And also, it was just virus-filled, too. I was able to do Five Nights at Freddy's 3, but it was very difficult. It was just so laggy. But yeah, like, Five Nights at Freddy's was probably the series the most pirated that I did, so. And then the last one is iPhone apps. Now, I don't know if this technically counts because I used to not be able to pirate apps because I didn't know how to. But with these old iPhones that I've been getting, or like the ones I've gotten, like the iPhone 5C and stuff like that, like I would find iPhone IPAs, old iPhone apps that you can't download on the App Store anymore. That's the main reason I did it. is because like I just would not be able to find these apps in their current state or like the old ones. So yeah, I did that up until last year, but then I heard people say that Sidelily, the program that I would use, is not safe. So I haven't done it in a while. I might maybe revisit it. But yeah, so that's pretty interesting. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I know this is kind of a little bit of a confession, but I kind of wanted to talk about the times I pirated and I found it pretty funny. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Wow.